Good morning, techies and scientists. Welcome back to the channel. Alrighty. So this is a earlier live stream. So I'm trying to pick different times, making sure, trying to figure out which time works best, which time works whatnot. Because it seems like the later I pushed it, the less people show up. So I'm trying different time where people can come in that works for everybody. You can ask questions. So over the next few days or month or so, you'll see the live stream coming at the different times. So it all depends on how many viewers I get. Then I'll stick to that time. Uh, so yeah, I decided to see if I can open up the live stream like when we're on the market open to see what we get. To see what we get. Alrighty. Let's see where we at right now. So we got about 5 minutes before the market opened. Today we had unemployment. Uh, Whatever the case may be, it seems like it was positive because it looks like it shot up and it's been going up since then. So what is good news, bad news? Bad news is good news. Good news is bad news. Bad news is bad news. Good news is good news. Sometimes you just feel like things can be confusing. Let's see here. Alrighty, I'm trying to see if I can get things a little bit set up, making sure that I can hear myself. I can hear the sound. Make sure my setup is okay. Alright, give me a second here to just do a quick sound check. Yep, so let me do a quick sound check, make sure everybody can hear me. Yep, it looks like I can hear loud and clear. Okay, very low latency, so no issues. So I mean, I guess that's a good thing about that. There are no issues, but I'm sure like right around 9:30, you never know what may happen. So we're just watching price at this point. Okay, is it better now? All right, I guess we can keep rocking and rolling. Alrighty, so the topic for today is um, retail trading logic is killing your gains. I mean, this topic could be like a series of live streams, but I'm gonna try to see if I can compact it into maybe one live stream. I mean, I'm not gonna go deep into the rabbit hole about indicators that people use and so on and so forth. So I'll just kind of keep it very basic and kind of show you sometime when you use some of these indicators. And I don't use indicators, as you can see, and I'm using sub 1 minute time frame. As you can see, I don't usually follow retail logic, meaning using EMA, MA, 200 moving average. And I'm not saying that they don't have the use, they do. But when you're trying to trade in a small small time frame, just as 1 minute, 15 minutes, it kind of lose its potency, right? You can use it as a confirmation, like the EMA or other tools. You can use it as a confirmation, extra confirmation for tools, either to stay on the trade or to drop a trade. But as far as using it um, for like to enter a trade or anything like that, I mean, I don't see how. I mean, even when I first started trading, I was looking at it and I'm like, oh yeah, so that's the bell. And so I'll be looking at it, I'm like, wait, so how do you enter the EMA or a moving average if that moving average is way down there? Like it's way past this point, and then you're gonna enter. Like to me, it just doesn't make any sense. So that's why I usually I looked at it and then I see a couple times and I try to back testing it myself, and most of it failed more often than not. So I guess that was
Like to
my
enter trade
epiphany
or
on
anything
that.
like
So
that. I
I'm
mean, I
looking
don't
at
see
it. I'm
how.
like,
I mean, even
I don't
when I
understand
started
how
first started
people
trading,
could use that.
I was looking at it
At
and I'm
price
like,
to trade Toronto.
yeah, so
I
that's the
hear the
bell.
bell twice.
And so I'll be looking at it, I'm like, wait, so how do you enter the
Yeah, it looks
EMA
like it kind of
or
ring
a
twice.
moving
I'm not
average
sure.
if that moving average is way
Okay,
down there?
so
Like it's
we
way
have
past
the
this
minute.
point, and then you're gonna
Right
enter.
now, let's take a
Like to
look
me, it
at.
just doesn't make any
Let's see.
sense.
Let's take a look at
So
where we are right now.
that's
Usually
why
for
I
the first
usually
30
I
minutes
looked
of
at it
trading,
and I see
I
a couple
usually
times
kind of
and I
like
try
stay
to
on the sideline
back
and kind of
testing
take
it
a look
myself,
at things.
and most of
As you can
it
see, I'm just
failed more
chatting.
often than not.
I
So
am not
I
trying
guess
to engage
that
the market
was
at this point.
like to enter my epiphany on that. So I'm looking at it.
Yep. So I'm not.
Like, I mean, even
I don't
when I
understand
started first
issues.
started
All
trading,
those issues
could
was
use
one
that.
of these
I
things.
was looking at it and I'm like,
Thinkorswim or Ninja Trader or the Stream Lab.
yeah, so that's the
I hear
bell.
the bell twice.
And so
I'm
I've been
hearing
looking at it, I'm
it
like,
too
wait,
many
so
times
how do
now.
you enter the
Yeah, it looks
EMA
like it kind of
or
ring
a
twice.
moving
I'm not
average
sure.
if that moving average is way
Okay,
down there?
so I know you guys can
Like
see my
it's
screen. We
way
have the
past this point, and then you're gonna
right
enter.
now. Let's taking a look at this at the health of
Just
the
doesn't
market
make
here.
any
So
sense.
to me, those indicators right here are much better. Like we're trying to figure out how much volatility there is into the market. I'm trying to figure out where is the dollar? Is it going up? Is it going down? So it seems like we do have like a price divergence here. So the dollar went up at the same time. Yes, and Nasdaq went up.
One of these
Now
things.
that could be an issue to take a
Ninja
look at.
Trader or the stream.
Let's see here. What's going on? It seems like things are kind of frozen here on this board. Let's take a look at Ninja Trader. I'm not sure why it's frozen, guys. Alright, taking a look at this at the health of the market here. So to me, those indicators right here are much better. Like we're trying to figure out how much volatility there is into the market. I'm trying to figure out where is the dollar? Is it going up? Is it going down? So it seems like we do have like a price divergence here. So the dollar went up at the same time. Yes, and Nasdaq went up. Now that could be an issue. Well, it seems like it's punching around. So now that market
Let's see here.
open and it looks like around 8:30 when we had the news release, price kind of like jump up. I probably wouldn't go at this point. I probably would not try to go long. I will try to see where price is gonna end up here somewhere down here at the bottom. Maybe try to go long. Try to see if he can retrace lower. Then at that point, catch it to go long. So I have to wait on that. Let's see. So when it comes to the retail logic, as far as using moving average and indicators, to me, I think it probably works best if you're doing investments. So, for example, if you're using 200 moving average against a 20 moving average, 20 moving average, or like a 75 moving average, if you can compare the three, and price drop like for example you will see the 20 moving average will go lower, and the 200 moving average has been low for a long time, and it start to tick up, and the 20 moving average has been ticking up. Then I can see an opportunity. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna try to go long and invest. Yeah, that's the difference. Not trade, invest. You buy long, or if you trade option for a long time, meaning you swing trading, or if you're investing or buying stocks, I can see the whole proof for using retail logic and moving average. I mean, anything beyond that, if you're trying to use a 15 minutes, 1 minute, and then you're trying to use moving average and all that, man, forget it. I don't find it very useful at all. Every now and then, yes, you may find an opportunity, you may get useful, but I mean, I don't see the whole value in it. And then there's volume profile that people use. They use volume profile. That's just another Mickey Mouse indicator that people use. I don't use those. I usually just use the candles, and I use these indicators here. If you want to call them indicators, let's see. I just use that as a gauge to figure out, okay, what's going on, where's the market going, and this, to me, this is a little bit more helpful. I'm looking at the divergences. For example, if ES fail to make like a lower low, and Nasdaq makes a lower low, and then ES keep going higher and higher, knowing that ES had 500 stocks in it and Nasdaq got 100, there's a high probability at some point, maybe around 10 a.m., that Nasdaq is gonna follow the ES. So I kind of use that logic instead of using 200 moving average or anything of the sort. And as you can see, I do have them on my chart. But since I've been on this channel, you rarely hear me brag or use them or talk about them. And I believe this one is a 200. To me, this is a little bit more helpful. And the one below is let's find out. For example, so that's how much I don't use them. Yes. Yeah, so that one is failed to make like a lower low, and Nasdaq makes a lower those two lines, and then yeah, that's I think that's a higher. Knowing that ES had 500, like this is how much I don't use them. Like I just put them on the chart, trying to test it, and then to see if it works, and then if it doesn't work, and I back test it to say, okay, if I was supposed to get there, would I lose or make money? Most of times when I back test those moving averages, I end up losing money. I've been on this channel, you rarely hear me. So that's that. So yeah, so I use the moving average, the 2050. It's very simple. This one is 200. Yeah, I don't subscribe to most of retail logic. So now you may ask yourself, okay, if you don't subscribe to retail logic, what do you use? What do you get into? Still hear myself. Yeah, that's I think that's a higher. Knowing that ES had 500. Like this is how much I don't use them. Like I just put them on the chart, trying to test it, and then to see if it works, and then if it doesn't work, and I back test it to say. It looks like I'm hearing myself twice. If I was supposed to get that there, is annoying. Hold on a second. Would I lose or make money? Most of times when I back test those moving averages, I end up losing money. I've been on this channel, you rarely hear me. So that's that. So yeah, so I use the moving average, the 2050. It's very simple. Yeah, I don't subscribe to most of retail logic. So now you may ask yourself, okay, if you don't subscribe to retail logic, what do you use? What do you get into? Still hear myself. Yeah, that's I think that's a higher. Knowing that ES had 500. Like this is how much I don't use them. Like I just put them on the chart, trying to test it, and then to see if it works. Hold on just a second here. It looks like I was able to hear myself twice. That is annoying. Hold on a second. That's not what I want right now. Those moving averages, I end up losing. I've been on this channel, you rarely hear me. So yeah, so I use the moving average, the 2050. It's very simple. Yeah, I don't subscribe to most of retail logic.
So now you may ask yourself, okay, if you don't subscribe to Rooted Logic, what do you use? What do you get into? Still hear myself. Hmm. I'm not sure why. I'm hearing myself twice. Hold on a second. Like it looks like it's a replay.
Just a second here. And looks like I was able to hear myself twice.
That is annoying. Hold on a
And
second.
that's not what I want right now.
Those moving averages, I end up losing that. So yeah, so I use the moving average of 20.
Output mode.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to most of Retail Logic. So now you may ask yourself, okay, if you don't subscribe to Retail Logic, what do you use? What do you get into? Still hear myself.
Hmm. I'm not sure why. I'm hearing myself twice.
Hold on a second.
Like it looks like it's a replay.
Just a second here. And looks like I was able to hear myself twice. That is annoying. Hold on a second.
And that's not what I want right now.
Those moving averages, I end up losing that. So yeah, so I use the moving average of 20.
Output mode.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to most of Retail Logic. So now you may ask yourself, okay, if you don't subscribe to Retail Logic, what do you use? What do you get into?
Yeah, like I stopped talking, but I still keep hearing it. I'm not sure why. I'm hearing myself twice. It's like an echo, man. What's going on?
Looks like I was able to hear myself twice. That's not what I want.
Yeah, like I stopped talking, but I still keep hearing it. It's like an echo, man. What's going on? Man, that's crazy work. Alright, can somebody on the chat tell me like if they can hear me twice? Like an echo in a loop? Yeah, like I stopped talking, but I still keep hearing it. Echo, man. What's going on? Man, that's crazy work. Alright, can somebody on the chat tell me like if they can hear me twice? Like an echo in a loop? Yeah. Like I stopped talking, but I still keep hearing it. That's crazy work. Can somebody on the chat
Like this,
tell
like
me
this.
like if they can hear me twice, like an echo in a loop? Like I said that a long time ago. Why keep repeating it? Can somebody on the chat
Like this,
tell
like
me
this.
like if they can hear me twice, like an echo in a loop? Like I said that a long time ago. Why keep repeating it? Anyway, in the meantime, there's not much action going on the market. Like I said that a long time ago. Why keep repeating it? Yeah, the visual seems fine, but it's the audio that keeps going on loop. Man, that's the thing using Streamlabs. In the meantime, there's not much action going on the market. See, it's talking over me. I said that a long time ago. Why keep repeating it? Alright, maybe some stuff I need to get rid of them. Yeah, the visual seems fine, but it's the audio that keeps going on loop. Man, that's the thing using Streamlabs. In the meantime, there's not much action going on the market. See, it's talking over me. Alright, maybe some stuff I need to get rid of them. This is insane. Yeah, the visual seems fine, but it's the audio that keeps going on loop. I guess I'm just gonna keep going. But the thing is, just the sound is just gonna sound ridiculous. Yep, the pros and cons of live streaming. If you live stream, you just record it and it's done. No more editing, but you run into issues in live in living color. Yeah, so it seems like the audio should be good now. I don't hear any echo. Okay, I didn't change anything. It just stopped. Weird. Okay. All right. So with a logic and using candles. So not all candles are created the same. So this is what I mean by not all candles are created the same. Let me make sure I put this down. Okay. So twice go up here, went lower, okay, and then it jump up again. Clear out this relative core high that it created. So once price drop below this candle here, if it doesn't go back up again, so there's a high probability it's just gonna keep going lower. And I wish I could explain that sooner so it doesn't look like it's cherry pick. And I mean, I did mention earlier that's gonna go a little bit lower before it go much higher. So with that being said, that candle kind of get into the middle of this particular candle here. So let me get that. So to me, this is the logic that I use to get into the trade. The retail ones, I don't use them. I don't subscribe to them. They don't provide me the instant feedback that I need. Okay, um, especially when you neck into the trade. So I think for what they would want is if then scenario. If that occur, then I'm gonna do that. Okay, so that's the logic that I use. If price get into this level, um, if price get to this level here and doesn't go any higher, I'm gonna go short. And whether it's 10 points, 20 points, you use that as a logic to enter short and go lower. So these are some of the logic that you use, especially when you're trading on a small time frame and you are trying to get a quick 20 points when you're scalping, whatever they say the word is. So that's the logic most traders would like to use. Okay, and this is another example here. For example, if price try to go lower and go lower and fail to break below this low, maybe it wants that I go long. Doesn't mean it's right, but over time, when you formulate this type of logic and when you're looking at the higher time frame from 1 minute to 2 minutes to 5 minutes to 15 minutes, you look at the entire landscape and then you say, you know what, this is what gonna try to do, and this is where I'm going to enter, and also waiting for time. So right now it's 9:55. It's probably not a good idea to enter a trade right now because at 10 a.m., I don't care whether there's a news event or not, there will be a massive price action move. And I would like to wait until after 10 a.m. to engage the market. Okay. So what's going on here at 10 a.m.? Yeah, looks like some Fed is gonna be talking at 10:10. Doesn't matter much. Not maybe, maybe not. And then there's a EIA petroleum status report at 10:30 a.m. Uh, yeah, well, usually I don't see that much price action going on here, but you may find out that around 10:30 a.m. depends on how fast the market was moving between 9:30 and 10. You may see a reversal at 10:30 a.m. But me, usually when market is usually trade one way, side like one way from 7 a.m. until 10. Um, After 10:30, between 10:30 and 2 p.m., I'm anticipating a reversal, and I'm trying to figure out okay which area price is going to reverse. Okay, so for example, for this one here, price is it that 5 a.m. So it seems like it's been bullish since 5 a.m. Okay, so between 10:30 and 2 p.m. I'm waiting for an area for reversal. So it could be this level here, 25,254, or it could be this level here, 25,166. But if you zoom out some more, you may see that there's a price level that it may reverse, which might be much lower on a higher time frame. Okay, so this is what I mean by if price was going higher, and then if you drop below that candle here, because it clear out this relative equal high up here, there's a higher probability that's gonna keep going lower. Okay, and sometimes when you try to engage price, it may not give you your entry that you want and need. Okay, so for example, I'm gonna put a short order here. Okay, so he may not give it to me. He may just keep going lower and lower, and if I miss it, that's fine. Okay, so why this area here? Because price break lower than this low. Because after that 8:30 news, price tried to come back lower, failed. Tried to come back lower here, it failed, and went higher, failed to take that high here at 25,464. And now that it break lower, I'm waiting for a retracement higher to go lower. And if it doesn't give me the opportunity to go short from this level, then forget it. That's a missed trade. Now, once you get below 50% here, then so what I mean by below 50%, from this low to this high, once you get below that 50% here, I will no longer engage it to go short. I'm just gonna wait for an opportunity to go long, or I'm gonna study if the market is gonna go much lower than that. And so to me, this is my indicator right here. I have my indicator, which is Fibonacci. So a break below this low here, Now I'm waiting for price to retrace higher. It can get here and go much lower, which is fine. I may miss that, but it may retrace higher all the way to 352, which is massive retracement, and then go much lower than that. Okay, so what do we see here? Now, if I was chasing it to go lower, here you go. Now it's jumping against me at this point. All right, so we have this old highs here. You have multiple old highs. It's a 10 a.m. As you can see, there's a lot of flickering. So now this is another, which is what makes it harder, right? So you're looking at all this logic. You're like, okay, maybe it's too many stuff. It's too many moving parts, right? It takes some time, okay, to get to that, because if your moving average is not working, then you're gonna have to find something else. You have to find another logic that works. So people say that the market doesn't move based on logic; it's move based on buying and selling pressure. Yeah, pressure. Only the only pressure that exists is in your tires. Okay, in your car tires. That's what the pressure is. I mean, there's no pressure here. It's all numbers. It's all digital. There's no pressure. There's a gap here, and that probably because of my broker. 9:33 to 9:34. It's just a couple minutes gap. So why do I highlight this particular area? So to me, this is a gap, um, and this is where you have the highest displacement ever. Okay, I want to see how price is gonna go through that gap. Is it gonna go through it really fast, or is it gonna take its time? Now, looking at this, it seems like because it did not get to this gap here, so apparently and obviously I missed that trade, right? So we have to wait and see. So I said that it could get into this gap here, which is at 25,334, or it could get all the way into that gap, which is a massive displacement. Clearly, it did not get there. Now I'm looking at this particular area here. It seems like it could go much higher. So at this point, I'm gonna try to see if I can change my posture to go higher. Now, what I wanna see is another candle that opens and attempt to go higher. Okay. If it goes lower than this, then it's gonna keep going much lower to clear out these lows here. And that would be kind of a bearish scenario. So at this point, I'm gonna go long and see what we get. And I'm gonna try to take a partial along the way. I'm gonna get a partial right in the middle of this candle here. Man, can this thing be quick? Before I missed it. Now, if it's bullish, it should go higher from here. If it's extremely bullish, but if it's like weak on the side, undecided, not sure what to do, then it's gonna stop me out. Then if it does stop me out, then I'm just gonna sit on the sideline and figure out what I need to do next. Okay, there you go. Coming close, stop me out. Now you may say, well, your logic failed at this point. Nah, I mean, it didn't fail. So now I know it's not going higher. What I can do is try to put myself in a position to go short. But here's the thing though. You already at a discount. Would you wanna go short at a discount? Not really. See that? Sometimes that happens. It stop you out because the stop loss is too close. Now I'm gonna go with one contract and see if it's gonna give me opportunity. So it seems like it's gonna stop me out again. Again, if it's bullish, it shouldn't go lower than this. And now, as you can see, I'm already on the I'm on the negative by $121. So to me, at this point, the market is becoming difficult. It spent too much time here in this gap, and as you can see, it doesn't give me what I want, and it keeps stopping me out. This is a signature of the difficult market right here. It's becoming difficult. It's kind of, you don't want to go short from a discount, but also you keep going long and then it keeps stopping you out. So, and I bet you money, if I go short from here, it's gonna rally and knock me out again. It's just I just know this well enough. All right, so could it be going for this relatively cool lows here? Potentially. Now at this point, I'm convinced that it's gonna go much lower now to attack these lows. I mean, I attempt to go short twice. I mean to go long twice, and it did not give it to me. Nope. So to me, this there's no bullish scenario here unless it clear out these lows and then try to go much higher. So I'm gonna stay out of it for a little bit and see what I ensue. So what may end up happening is it may end up melting all the way low, and it's gonna feel like I missed out. I mean, unless you have a much better logic than this, to me, I'll rather stick with the logic that I have, and then I will find it over time. Because 9 times out of 10, if I go short from here, it's gonna rally against me, especially on these lows. So I wanna wait and see what it's gonna do next. So I'm looking at this particular candle here because that was the last candle before it goes up, and try to see if it's gonna get above this candle here. And let me make sure I make it a lot bigger. Come on. So we have this consecutive drop candle. Probably get close to half of it, and then went lower. Now those lows has been cleared out. Okay, so it's 10, 11. All right, come on, man. Really? This is where my patience get with it then. Well, they had a good positive report, so I'm not sure why this thing kept melting lower and lower. Sheesh. Then the 8:30 news wasn't that good news? I need to check. I wasn't sure if it's good news or not for the unemployment. All right, let's see if we can get to these lows here. Probably need to clear these lows right here. Come on. Okay. So cut it down from $121 now to like $32 in loss. So I mitigate and minimize my loss. Now I'm gonna move the stop loss a little bit lower to kind of almost break even, because what may end up happening here, he may end up violently retrace higher. And you probably have seen this a lot more times than not. I'll clear out this low. So there you go. This is the violent move upward I'm talking about. So could be an opportunity to reverse and go higher, but I'm not gonna bet on it. I think it's just gonna reverse just to stop me out and then keep going lower. There you go. Stopping me out. I wanna see if it's gonna get above last candle here. If it does, what's going on here? Wow, these is popping up. Yeah, it looks like I'm losing my connection here. Okay, so it looks like it's popping up. Why did it grab it so high? So that's why I like to put limit orders, because when you buy it directly, like you grab it really high, and that's not where I look at that. That's not where I intended to get it. Yeah, and now I'm back at a loss. Okay, it's moving so slow. Did you get it? Let's see if I. Goodness, man. Like you really don't have to get it that low, but I want to see if it's gonna make an attempt at least to retrace higher to this level here. I mean, if it goes much lower than this, we can. It's gonna look like a melting day today. Like if it doesn't go higher and give me this opportunity here, yeah, it's gonna be a down day today. Even though we had this news here. Yeah, let me take a look at the news um, on my Thinkorswim platform to see if that was good news or bad news. I don't necessarily care, but I just want to. Yeah, like right here, this is problematic. What happened? I don't even see what happened. Where's the candle? Why did my stop got stomped out before the candle even pan out? See, that's the shenanigan with these brokers. Come on, man. So yeah, today is gonna be a melt day. So I'm just gonna put a sell order and be done with it. Now, if you had any doubt that your broker kind of like mess up with your thing, this is another this is another proof again. Like my stop loss got stomped out before it actually even get there. Yeah, price is gonna keep melting lower and lower for the rest of the day. So I might as well take advantage of it. Man, is that a cell program? Goodness grief. How much lower can it go? So I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to see if I can get a partial. Trying to get it to move. It won't move. Okay. Got a partial here. Yep. Just like I thought. It was just gonna keep melting for the rest of the day. Alright, so let me. So how did I know it's gonna keep melting for the rest of the day? Like there's very little retracement higher. That's the thing. And then it kind of like prematurely keeps stopping me out. So I'm like, yeah, that's it. It's gonna melt. Alright, so I'm just moving my stop loss. Okay. I think I got that notification here. So there's more of them. Let me see if I can zoom out on this. And there you go. Here comes the shenanigans. Yeah, which is why it's always pays to get a partial and make sure you move your stop loss lower because you don't want to be in a trade and it's going good and you have this crap right here and kind of come back and then you have your stop loss all the way here and then put you back on the negative. I'm trying to figure out how low it's going to go. Let's see. Let me put it on the 15 minutes time frame so I can see which lows it's aiming for. If this thing can do it quick enough. Okay. 15 minutes, that doesn't work. And as you can see my profit and loss somewhere in the corner of the screen there. Oh, okay. Too many annotations. Wouldn't it be easier to just use EMA? Nah. Nah. I don't want to use EMA and volume profile, none of that. I mean, even though they can be helpful, I mean, if it wasn't helpful at all, people wouldn't use them at all. But my thing is, I want the edge. You know what I mean? I don't want to just rely on EMA. And screen is frozen. Like why? At this point, really? It's loading. So I want the edge. I don't want the EMA that MMA and constant. So I mean, as you can see, I still use RSI and all that stuff, but it's sparingly. I use it sparingly. I use it every now and then, and most often than not, I'm just trying to figure out. Okay, is my idea, does the RSI support the logic that that I have in mind? It seems like it hit my target, and I kind of like wanted to figure out. I wanted to zoom in more so I can see where it's going, but unfortunately, it hits my target. Now I don't know. I don't know what the profit margin is at this point. And because the whole computer now is frozen. The fun of live streaming, man. As you can see. So these are all the things that plague me offline and online when I'm trying to do trading. Like when you see all this volume coming up and things just froze. I don't know if it's the broker. I don't know if it's CME. I don't know if it's my computer. I mean, when I try in different computer, I kind of get the same result anyway. Okay, so it looks like it's it kind of came back, and okay, yep, it's gonna go for this low right here, which is 25.43. It looks like it hit, so I keep dragging it lower and lower, but it seems like it hit it, and I was on the negative 254. Now I'm at $16. Let me see if I can see it on the screen here. Yep. So yeah, so it was negative. I was on. I lost at a $258, I believe, and now it's $16. So I recouped back most of my losses. And the reason why I suffered so many losses here is because I assumed that it was bullish. It was going to retrace lower to go higher. And then this is the part where, at least for me, I can only speak for myself. Well, sometimes I'm going to suffer losses. Because I don't know when the market is really shifting. Um, I'm expecting it to go lower, clear those sell stop to go higher, but it doesn't. And even though I suffer losses, I still use that as a lesson to say, hey, listen, if it keeps going lower and lower like this, it keep eating all my stop loss, and it barely reaches higher, not even to get 5 points in profit, we're on the sell program. And as you can see, it's been selling. I mean, unfortunately, I had to learn through a couple losses. What I would really want before that sell program happen is for it to go to this level here higher, like 25,508, clear out those buy stops here, and then go lower. That would have been ideal. But hey, I'm not in control of this market. I can only go by what I can see. And as you can see, this is an ugly screen. So this is what I replace with the EMA. So this is what I replace it with. I want to show you another logic that I use in order to, man, everything's just like really sluggish. Another with not retail, but another logic that I use to figure out what's going on and where things are going. All right, so I kind of break things down into sessions, okay? And hopefully you can see my screen clearly. This one got less annotations. So you have the AM range, which was, what day was that? That was 2/9. That was 2 days ago. That was on Monday. So that's the AM range. And to me, I classify the AM range from 9:30 a.m. all the way until noon. So that's my entire range here. And then you have the PM session. I kind of like break it down. And I kind of ended at around 1800, which is 6 p.m. Eastern time. And like I always, what I've observed is that when it comes to the Asian session, meaning after 6 p.m. in London, they usually trade the PM session, or if it's past the PM session, they trade into the AM session. PM session, the range from high to low, which start at 1:30 for me, all the way until I say 4 p.m. or sometimes 5. So that range, what I mean range is the high and low. And as you can see on the next day, on that day, which is the Tuesday, and after that, you can see price kind of like move around that particular range, which is the PM session range. Higher than the PM session range, and lower than the PM session range, like this in a range. So there's two definition of a range for me. There's range like when it's going sideways, and there's a range like from high to low. So to me, in that PM session range from high to low, price was in the range going sideways between the PM session range. Okay, so if you buy low and you can kind of like go through all this retracement here, I mean, you'll be making out like a bandit. But come 9:30 a.m., it'll probably knock you out. And this is kind of like getting to my final thing here. So as you can see, price traded above Monday's PM session and Tuesday 10 a.m. session, and then drop. Now you may say, okay, how far is it gonna go to me? I'm assuming it's gonna go as low as 24,970. Now this is where I would have a target here. Um, and this one right here, this purple line in the middle, this is a new week opening range, meaning when price close on Friday at 4:59 and the price open on Sunday at 6 p.m., there's usually a gap. So I identify that gap every week. That's part of the work. Unfortunately, that's the logic that I used, and to me, it's been working. I mean, there are so many things you can use here. Let me see if I can put it on the 5 minute so I can show you the range that is open. And as you can see, it kind of dances around that new week opening range all week long, up and down and around it. And let me see if I can zoom in. So somebody might say, man, you trying to tell me I need to replace my easy EMA with this? Man, that's a lot of work. Stay on my channel and you will learn something. All right, so I still got sound. I was just checking for sound. And I've been having sound issues. So this is the gap I'm talking about. So on Friday it closed, and on Sunday it gap up and open. Right, straight around it, come back up, and as you can see, right here, right at around what day was that? 5 a.m. today. Earlier today, kind of like touch it, kiss that same gap, and trade up. Okay, price trade below that gap here, and now I'm waiting to see if it's gonna trade above it and kind of do the same thing that it did here at 5 a.m. and start trading higher. So this is how I use that new week opening gap, and that's that gap, and it's always, I'm not, well, not always, most of the time it comes back and fill it up. Okay, so when I'm looking at this trade right here, I'm trying to see if it's gonna get above that half of that gap. If it barely gets there or touch it, I'm going short. Okay. Matter of fact, let's do this. And that is what you call that? This is a simulation account. So I'm gonna try to see if I can go short from here. Apparently, clearly I missed it. I'm gonna try to see if it's gonna come back and touch it again. Okay. So again, this is a simulation account. Why is it a simulation account? It says sim right here. So I'm gonna try to go short, and I'm gonna use the same logic. Whether you have I forgot what's the other word that he used, paper account. Whether it's a paper account or a will account, the logic applies the same. Okay. The only difference is when you lose, it feels painful in your pocket when I use the other account. But other than that, it's the same logic. Okay. So now I came back to half of that gap, and try to see if it's gonna trade lower. And now that I show you the gap that opened on Sunday, let me zoom in. I can show you. At least I can try to get a partial. Wait a minute, where's the profit and loss? Why is not showing the profit and loss here? That's strange. Okay, so it looks like it's gonna stop it out and wait and see. See if it's gonna hit it lower. So this is the middle of that gap. Now you may say, okay, well, if you get stopped out, that's a loss. The logic fail. Okay, just because it failed now doesn't mean it's gonna fail all the time. Okay, because in the past it has worked. So you put in a trade, and it's not like I bet the farm, the house on it. So I'm just trying to see, okay, where does it take me? So my thing is, I'm looking at my simulation account. It doesn't seem like it moved at all. It didn't say any loss or nothing. I mean, there's all kind of things going on with this. All right, let me go back to my order Apex funded account. And yes, I do use funded account. And no, I do not have a discount code. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm just here trying to show you something different you can think about, something different you can use. Um, why is this stuck? I don't know. I definitely don't want you guys to see that. Come on, come on, come on. Any rate, any questions? Yeah, I think it's been about an hour and 12 minutes here. I'm gonna try to stay maybe for another couple minutes and see. Yeah, these issues here, they really throw me off. Like this frozen here, like come on, man. All right, so let's take a look at what's going on for the rest of the week. While Ninja Trader try to figure out what's going on. So we do have CPI coming up on Friday, 8:30. So that unemployment situation was supposed to be last week. I think it was supposed to be on Thursday or Friday, but it got delayed until today. Yeah, and they are resetting everything. I mean, things have been reset before, but they're really laying the groundwork to reset everything. Reset it to what? I don't know. But one thing I know for sure, this delay is on purpose. Where are we with the fear and greed index? We are neutral. Hmm, really? Neutral? All right, I'll take that. I buy that for $1. Let's see where we at. Let's take a look at, yeah. So that's that going on. So it seems like Dow Jones is decoupled from Nasdaq and ES. And that's a complete decoupled here. Because Dow Jones is going lower and these are attempting to go higher. Sheesh, look at this the VIX really shot up. I was looking at this earlier. I thought the VIX was gonna. I thought about it that's gonna clear these lows and then go higher, but most of the time it doesn't operate that way. So maybe I should have take heed to that instead of the losses. I should have took a look at the VIX and see how sharply higher it's going. And as you can see, the S&P and Nasdaq is a little bit more responsive to the VIX. Then Dow Jones is. I believe I heard Trump say the Dow Jones will reach 10,000 by the end of his term or by the end of the year. Mm, anything is possible, but I don't know about that. There's gonna have to be some heavy manipulation on that. What else? I'm looking for my seasonal tendencies here. Oh, yeah, this is another screen that I use. Looking at different time frame, a daily, 15 minutes, well, 1 hour, and 5 minutes. Kind of give you a good map, a good lay of the land on what's going on, so you don't get blindsided by big moves. Well, one of the best way to not get blindsided by big moves is by looking at the economic calendar. I mean, that's the number one thing. I mean, if you know at 8:30 a.m. there's gonna be a employment situation, and then you know things are gonna get blasted one way or the other, you can do two things. You can either stay in the market, participate, and you hope that you win some, or you can stay on the side and let it happen. Or if something happens, you might have your head chop off. Okay, so it'll be the same thing for the CPI 8:30. You can stay and participate in it at 8:30 and say, hey, okay, I'm gonna make some big bucks, or you're gonna lose some big bucks. Either way, so to me, these are my indicators. And there's a video that I dropped a long time ago about indicators and leading indicators rather than lagging indicators. You can find that on my channel. I forgot the real title of it, but I believe something about it says something leading indicator. So if you go to the catalog, you'll be able to find it. I've been meaning to drop a part two of that video, but the thing is, the other leading indicators, it requires experience. It requires you touching things around. So it can come a little bit more confusing. So that's why I've been reluctant to drop that. But there are other leading indicators, and to me, also the seasonal tendencies is also another leading indicator. I don't know why 2027 really. So that's that. The dollar is also another leading indicator for me. So I usually use leading indicators rather than lagging indicators like EMA, or I don't even know them. There's a whole bunch of them. It's like thousands of them. So if you are going to use an indicator, and retail logic, use something that is a leading indicator, meaning precursors of things that's going to happen. If that happen, if that pattern show up at that time for that particular level of price, then I'm expecting this to happen. That needs to be the logic. Okay. So, for example, like I mentioned earlier, when I was doing this, hopefully this can come back. Can it come back? I guess not. So what I was saying is, I put in a trade expecting it to go higher. It did not. It quickly stopped me out. It got below the old lows. There's not even a little bit of retracement. There's probably like a 5 point retracement, and it kept going higher, and it kind of prematurely stopped me out. To me, that's an indication that they really want to take it low. So, which is why I entered short, and then I was able to recapture that negative $258 to now $16. Okay, so those are indicators to use. Those are the with a logic. I mean, not with a like. Those are the logic that you need to use. I mean, we're all retail traders, but you do not have to use retail logic. Okay, meaning if it goes below, I'm gonna keep selling off. Even though it seems like that's what I did today, like a breakout to the low. This is probably the only time when the retail logic work. When you're on a sell program and then it breaks lower than low, and then people go short from a low, and they happen to be winning. Even though what I did today was very similar to a breakout to the low, trust me, it wasn't. It wasn't the same thing. I look at the candle, the speed, the news that came. I look at the relatively cool highs that were broken, and I use all that as logic to say, hey, they're trying to jam it lower and fast. Okay, so this is what I use. I mean, could it have worked? Yeah, it did work this time. Could it have failed? Yeah, it could have failed. Now, if that would have failed, for example, we just keep going back and forth. Now I don't know it's a different profile. Now we're looking at a seek and destroy, which is they'll take it up, they take it down, they take it up and take it down. They keep like if you had your sell stop get knocked out, your buy stop get knocked out. So that would have been like a seek and destroy profile, but that wasn't the case today. Today was a sell program, a short one, but nonetheless, sell program. And it seems like I still cannot zoom in on this one. What else can I share here? Yeah, if you go back to that video, it also talk about other indicators that I use. I think that was a great video, and I'm gonna try to link it to this live stream so you can watch it. Yeah, that was one of the best videos I've ever dropped. I mean, there was very little editing. uh, I mean, it was just straight war and cut. And I think I dropped it on September. And yeah, that's not going to work here. It's not working for me here. What was I supposed to? Oh, so yep. So that's seasonal tendencies. About seasonal tendencies, it's not the end all be all. Obviously, if you have think or swim, you can set it up this way here. So I just go here, and forgive me if this thing is very slow. So you use style, you go on style. If you have your chart open, you go on style. Come on. And so there's all kind of chart modes here. And yeah, now why did it? They really don't want me to spread the truth, does it? Okay, all right, we're gonna fight through it, man. Goodness gracious. Okay. Yeah, so that's that. And then you click on season at those monkey balls. I don't mess with that. And then there's your regular chart. There's a standard chart, which is what we've been looking at earlier, and then there's seasonality. Click on seasonality, and then you can break this down into days, weeks, months. If because I have it set up by days, and I have the look back period for the past 20 years. Should be good enough data. You can drop it to 10 year, 1 day, 10 year, look back on the monthly time frame, and you can modify it here. So this is not the best tool for seasonality, but it's free. I use it. Okay, so there are other tools out there that is a little bit more robust and that's a little bit more continuous. But this one is free and it's available. Why not take advantage of it? Which is why I don't heavily rely on it. I just use it again as a confirmation. So the way I look at this is this: if seasonally and on that day or for that week, price usually go higher, then I'm gonna put my and then when I go into the chart, like on a daily, weekly, and the 1 hour, and I see the potential setup that things is forming, like it clears a low to go higher, then I'm gonna arrange myself to kind of say, hey, based on the setup that I see, based on the time, based on what's going on, based on the Feds cutting the rate, based on the seasonality on this time, especially on March when you have all the hedge fund. I think they're transferring the money. They're trying to kind of get over the portfolio, whatnot. So we want that same time use all this logic and say, hey, I want that time price should be going higher. Okay, and then if I see the setup on the lower level, then I set my way up to go long. However, usually sometimes you're gonna have the opposite, and when the opposite happen, and you have WAR going on around the world, and then you have the Fed will cut rates, but it's not very effective, and they're talking about to take it to the lower bound of zero. Uh, the monetary policy is on shaky ground, and then I'm looking at it, and I'm like, tariffs and all that stuff going on, and it seems like it's been contrarian to the seasonality. Then I also use that also as contrarian to go on the opposite end of seasonality as well. And over the past few days or so, it seems like if you're using contrarian to the seasonality, you would have been winning big. So that's that. And then this one right here, well, this on the right side, this is Nasdaq, and this is the green is current, and then the red is obviously over the past 20 years. And this is for the dollar on the left hand side, and the purple is current, and the green is seasonally. And this is a lot less predictive than anything for the dollar. I mean, the dollar has not been in the range. It's been going up and down, left and right, all over the place. So that's that. So those are the logics that I use. Um, to me, it work a little bit much better if I have to wait for EMA or SMA to tell me something. Most of the time, it's too late. And obviously, having a good working system also is very beneficial. Make sure that you have good internet access. I mean, I do have great internet access. I do have a computer, but every now and then this thing jerks around. And trust me, by the time I hit in stream, everything is gonna act normal. So maybe Streamlab, I usually have a couple issues, but doesn't last that long. Anyway, all right, I think I'll babble and ramble as long as I could here. Be careful out there. Um, things doesn't look the way it seems. Let me kind of give you a prognostication for the rest of the day. Let me see, let me see, let me see. As you can see, I use multiple screens. Let's talk about that one real quick. One side. So I do use this one also as an example, especially when they have the quarterly earnings. I use this one as a gauge to figure out, okay, which one of the suckers is gonna pull the market one way or the other. So since the market opened at 9:30, it's been going much and much lower. So if you were to pick which one was dragging the market, which one would you choose? Hmm? Would you say Apple? Nah, Apple has been going up. Can you possibly say Google? The Magnificent Seven. So I'll take my money on Google first, Microsoft second, and maybe Tesla third. Who's been dragging the Nasdaq lower for the better part of this morning. Now, this one you can argue this is not a leading indicator, but hey, to each his own. And at one point, Nvidia was dragging the market, but now at this point it does not, and it's probably because it's not close to the quarterly earning. So recently, which company had the quarterly earning being reported? I'll let you take a guess on that one. Ding 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 dong dong ding ding dong. So recently, maybe last week, this week, over the past few weeks, which one had quarterly earnings being reported? Wasn't it Google? Yeah, last week on Wednesday. And now Google is dropped the most and dragged the market with it. Something to think about. Something to think about. So now you're gonna have Nvidia having the reporting on the 20th of February, and you already know, and that should be a given. If Nvidia is bad news, then it's gonna drag the market with it, and they'll take the place of Google, dragging it around. Yeah, well, don't use what I say as an example. Uh, if we too look at the quarterly earnings when they report the earnings and when the earnings reported at 4 p.m., just take a look. I'll take a look and look at the days after that, the days before, and the days after. Um, whichever one is reporting the earning, they usually report the earning all around the same time, by the way. But whichever one report the earning, see which one is dragging which on the market. So, and then obviously it's Magnificent Seven. If all, if like 5 out of 7 is dragging the market lower, you already know the market is gonna go lower. Okay. So there's that food for thoughts. I rather use those logic as that's better logic than just relying on EMA and market profile and all that stuff. Those things can be spoofed in selling orders and buying pressure. All these things are spoofed. And then when you're talking about dog pools, yeah, all these things can get spoofed. But you know what doesn't get spoofed is this. I mean, your broker, yes, can kind of like mess things around for you, especially if you're trading for eggs. But those candles here, they paint, they don't get spoofed. Now, at the end of the day, when the market closed, the settlement price level may slightly change a little bit. So that's different, but that doesn't mean it gets spoofed. Now you may be talking about settlement, settlement date. What are you talking about? Yeah, when you got the daily, there's a settlement. Okay, so there's that. You go look on futures, daily lows, settlement, and there's last. Go on your chart right now. Whenever you get a chance, go on your chart and mess around with this, and then you're gonna see the difference. You're gonna see the closing price for the daily change. Sometimes it's dramatically change, sometimes not much, but it's not the same. So when you're looking at the daily chart and then you try to figure out where's the gap and all that stuff, you kind of like need to poke around with this. I usually will go with the settlement, not the last. So by the last, they mean the last up close candle, the last candle. But the settlement is slightly different. I believe there's a slight definition of this. But for the weekly, it doesn't change much. And monthly definitely does not change at all. But for the daily, the last close and the settlement is definitely different. And then there's price type, and then all that is obviously different. So I do change it to settlement and then to draw my the gaps. And by gaps I mean, let me take a look on the daily. So I'm not gonna do change it to the settlement to the last because that might take another 15 minutes because this thing is so damn slow. I'm gonna be lucky if it changes it to to a daily chart quick enough. See, so I'm talking about. Okay, but by the gap, I mean you're talking about there's a wick, there's the body, and then there's nothing in between the wicks and the body. So that's what I mean the difference in the settlement date. And as you can see, I got all kind of annotation on my chart. I mean dating back to, yeah, I missed it. Dating back to 2020, 2020, 2022. This is what I'm talking about. Those gaps here. You need to you need to highlight them. Let me get a clean chart. Jeez. So there's that's another indicator in the background to kind of like find the divergence between the dollar and Nasdaq. So as you can see, there's different style that you can use. You can use candles. You can use bars. You can use lines. So I prefer to use the candle. But to me, now that I'm showing this, is kind of like in the way. So what I'm trying to do, I'm gonna try to fade it out a little bit so it can not completely disappear, but so I can show you the gap that I'm talking about. And you can see how painfully slow this is. Well, yeah, we're gonna push through. We're going to push through. Nothing's gonna stop us now. I kind of like the 9:30 though. The 9:30 live stream. It's much better, I think. All right, so this is what I'm talking about. That gap and the settlement date. You kind of like want to do that every day when it closes, where it closed, and like I said, sometimes it's dramatic. Like in this one here, it's dramatically different. It closed here and then it opened much lower. Maybe this might be a weak gap. Man, really? Hmm. Okay, that's good enough. And there's a gap right here as well. 21, 22. So that one for the daily is dramatic. This one, not dramatic, very dramatic. So there's that gap. You always want to highlight them because at some point it's gonna come to it, trade around it, trade on top of it, and you just need to sit still and watch how it's trading around it. Now I want to take a look at this particular area right here, and I promise I said I was gonna close the stream, but since we're doing this, I might as well keep on going. And I want to take a look at this particular area right here, which is on the 9th. That was on Monday and on Tuesday. And I want to show you how you traded around this area and then keep on dropping. Let's take a look at, and if it's gonna let me do it, let's take a look at the 1 minute. And I usually keep a page of a clean chart because sometimes I have so many notes in there. I get lost and confused. Even myself get lost and confused into it. So I usually keep a clean one and I make my annotations. And then once I'm done with my annotations, I delete them. So that particular area that we highlighted on the daily, this is how you trade it around it. Get to the half, drop, kissed it, drop. Okay. Yeah, it's rendering. It's taking its time. And then today, trade slightly above it and then drop. Right here. So you see how the settlement date, like how crucial it is. Now, if you're just looking at the 1 minute time frame and then you're using the your EMA, SMA. I mean, isn't this a little bit more helpful? At least you can watch where it's going, and then hit touch that, and then if it drop below this, return. Maybe you can think about going short from here, from the middle half of that. No, and then if you're wrong, you cut your size, and then if you was able to trade in the opposite way, you cut your losses, and then you trade on the opposite way. It's much easier. Another indicator that I use that I put on my chart is the midnight open in the 8:30. Funny how that works. Trade all the way up into it, into that 8:30 level, and then drop. Time and price. Next week live stream, I'm gonna talk about time and price. I'm already giving you a preview of that here today. At the time, 8:30, and the price. Got a one area, drop. Okay. What I would want better though is for it to get to the midnight and then drop. But 8:30 is good. Is good for government work. Now, does that mean it's gonna keep dropping lower because you get into the 8:30? No. You can attempt to go short from here, get a partial, and then if you return against you, then you lower your stop loss. Then you get a little bit of crumbs. I mean, all we are is a fly on the back of a big elephant, and then we're just trying to get a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We're not trying to get rich. Well, at least I'm not. But you can use this for your benefit to enhance your trading style to get rich. And what you do after that, that's on you. But yeah, I'll take this over EMA. So this to me right here, like if I know it does that all the time, around the gaps, and if I know it comes around the gaps all the time, if it's below, it's a discount. If it gets around to the gap, I treat it like a premium. I can short from the gap. Wouldn't that? Yeah, I think that's a much better system to use. It's very static. It's not complicated. I mean, it can get complicated with all this price movement around here. Now that I give you that. Now the thing is, do you have the stomach to go through all this back and forth? Now that's a different type of story. So sometimes I don't. And yeah, just because I've found this, that doesn't mean I follow it all the time. Also, but that's a personality trait. But looking at this, it works. It works more often than not. And then there are gaps within the hour also that price refer to. So there's a lot of gap in inefficiency you can take advantage of. Okay, man, it's almost been 2 hours. Uh, yeah. So I don't see any questions on the chat. I guess people are just watching and skipping and not paying attention. But if you can give me a thumbs up, that'll kind of give me more encouragement to do more of this. Okay. I mean, thumbs up. It's not gonna cost you a lot. Just a nice little thumbs up would be greatly appreciated, and it's gonna encourage me to keep coming back and provide you some more of this because there's a lot more to this. That's why people just use EMA. It's just like what? This is insane. I mean, how many stuff I've shown today? I've showed you PM range, the afternoon session range. I've showed you the AM session range, and I'll show you seasonality. I'll show you um, divergence between Nasdaq and S&P, the divergence between Nasdaq and the dollar, and then I'll show you the Magnificent Seven, which is dragging the market around, and all this stuff is around time. Like there's a time for you to use them, there's a time for you not to use them. Okay. So that doesn't mean you use them all the time at all time. It's just that after the market, after you have a quarterly earning for a particular magnificent seven, and then you can see like how much speed is gonna become that's gonna come into the market, how far along is going to drag the market. This is why I use the magnificent seven screen for. Okay, and then there's a time. What is the best time to engage the market if you're trying to go short? Um, you're trying to go short above the midnight, and if you're trying to go long, and if it's below the midnight, you're trying to go long from the midnight if the market is bullish. So there's all this level you need to find, but you need to also understand the sequence, how it goes from one gap to the next, how it goes from daily to weekly gaps. There's that also. You know how it goes from 1 hour from a 1 hour gap to a 15 minutes gap. Like how you trade between that, and then there's that first gap, and then how you trade from that first gap that is on a premium, and you trade into another first gap in the previous day that's on the discount. Like there's all the stuff you're gonna have to like combine in order to get very precise and accurate. And that doesn't mean I get it right, because sometimes it's hard to tell. Like when price is going sideways like this, it kind of throw you off, and that's their job. Their job is to throw you off. Their job is to make you feel like your system is not working. You don't want your system. The whole goal is not for a system that you come up with to work all the time. It just need to work what 60% of the time. If you have a system and it's working 60% of the time, as long as you don't bet the house and the farm and everything else on it, you should be fine. You should be more than fine. If you have a funded account and you, let's just say for example, you use 100K, okay, 150K, even though you can trade 15 minis, you don't have to trade 15 minis. Okay, I trade micros and I do more than fine. What I want to do is stay alive enough, long enough in the market so I can take a bite out of it. What's important for me is to be consistent. Consistent. That's what's more important. Consistently winning. You go from consistently losing to consistently winning. That's the ultimate goal. Okay? It's not a goal of making millions. I mean, you can when you get to that level, but the ultimate goal, at least for me, is to be consistently winning, predictively, consistently winning. All right, everything's flickering. It's flickering to the max, so I think it's time for me to bail. Uh, well, I hope that helps. Again, give me the thumbs up. I'm gonna try to see if I can dissect this into a smaller version where people can come in instead of sitting in a 2 hour live stream. Especially more than half of it was me trying to diagnose for audio. So what I'm predicting today is probably gonna go higher for the rest of the day. Um, Definitely, if it clear out this high here, which is 25,450, yeah, I would definitely say it's bullish. I mean, it's been showing a sign of bullishness, I think, since last week after all these drops. Yeah, it's gonna take forever here. Oh, that was quick. So yeah, so that's where we stand right now. It seems like it's gonna attempt higher. Um, they're taking it lower to go higher. Okay, and don't over leverage. So yeah, it seems like since last week, that was what day was that? That was on the fifth. Since the fifth, it seems like it's reversing to go higher. But there's that block. So there's that part right here. You know, it needs to get over that hump right here, which is 25 4 something, 25 465. It needs to get over that hump. Yeah. So once it gets over that hump, I would say yeah, maybe it's bullish. And if it doesn't get over that hump, and then if it start going lower than this low, which is at 24,994, and if it start drifting lower and lower, then I don't want to say officially bear market, but yeah, I would say bear market at this point. Yeah, because at this point it's showing sign that it wants to go up. This is what I call knocking on heaven's door. Okay, right here. Um, you kind of like get in a little bit, go lower, and kind of like go slightly higher, and then go lower, and dramatically go lower, make you feel like the market is about to drop, and then the bottom's about to fall off, and then quickly reverse on you, and then take out these highs, and then go lower again. Like it's a nice little dance, and then just gonna keep breaking higher and higher. So to me, it's showing me sign that it wants to get into heaven. What I mean by knocking at heaven's door, see that resistance here. It try to knock it once, knock it twice, and it's like an encroachment. Every time you're trying to encroach into it to go higher. But let's see. It did attempt to do the same thing earlier in the year, and that did not work. So let me see. It make go higher. Well, that's not the same thing. Try to go higher, higher, and higher to a little Indian from Linda Rashi. And this one here, that's a sign that to me it's not gonna go higher. And then that's a drop. Okay. So pretty much what I'm trying to say is for especially for this particular area right here, it went higher, 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 and then dropped lower. You could see, and I'm not saying that's gonna happen, you could see a repeat of that. It gets close to here, get to the half. If it gets to the half of it with a wick and then start drifting lower, man, forget it. I would go short. Because at this point, if it's bullish, it needs to show determination that it really wants to go higher. And then what you need to look for is what is it in the market, in the policy, in the monetary policy that's gonna push this higher. Is Trump going to announce he's gonna lift tariff? Is Trump going to say, okay, no more WARs? Then if that's the case, then the market is gonna go higher. If it said no more tariff, then you're gonna see this go much higher. If the Fed said they're gonna cut rate, then you're gonna see this go much higher. But if things remain the same the way they are, tariff on, tariff off, and the Fed say I'm not going to increase rate, I'm not going to decrease rate, then you're just gonna see things just fade out. They're just gonna slowly fade out. Hmm. And to me, what I mean by fade out is this fading. Like it's not a dramatic drop, but it's just slowly fading, 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 fading. Give you a, and then fading. So I know I give you a whole lot of scenarios here, but go in the chart, practice, study, don't overtrade. Click the like button and subscribe.